Hello, Shatling. Yesterday I was streaming and we were discussing AI art, also known as AI slop. And one chatter was, they were a unique individual. They were going against the grain, okay? Basically, everyone in the stream was on the same page where we agreed that AI art does nothing but harm real artists and it is slop. However, there was one person that had an opposing opinion, and it really got me thinking. It was an argument that I haven't heard before, a bit of a unique claim, and it was just fun to talk about. So I would like to do that today, but let me roll the original clip so that you know their stance. Ikea AI is not that bad. For drawing, the artist draws what they think about. The artisan takes commissions, and that is not creative nor an expression of the artisan's ideals. So the thing that was unique about this person's argument is that they compared taking commissions to AI art, claiming that taking commissions takes the creativity out of it, because you are being instructed on what to draw, right? If somebody commissions you, chances are they're going to tell you, I would like you to draw this character. I would like you to draw this character in this pose, with this other character doing this. You can get really specific with the instructions when you're commissioning someone. And this person was arguing, because you take instructions when you are being commissioned by somebody, making art for them, it takes out the creativity and it is therefore comparable to AI slop. Now, there's a lot of problems with this take. I'm sure you could infer this. There are a lot of problems with this take. Let me start with the first one that really jumped out to me, that spoke to my heart specifically, because I have been drawing for many, many, many years. Part of the thing that makes art special is putting in the years of effort and getting better at it. Watching your improvement. Watching your effort directly manifest in your work. That's part of the thing that I love about being an artist, and it's part of the thing that makes it rewarding. Now, oftentimes, AI artists will LARP about not having some innate talent, as if artistic skill is something you're just born with. Artists come out of the womb holding a paintbrush and a canvas, and they can already create the Mona Lisa. I've seen some really dumb shit. There was this one Reddit post, I believe, talking about blue blood, as if artists are just born with this insane ability, and they're the elite. You know, this group of people who are born with a special skill that nobody else can access? That is such bullshit. Becoming skilled as an artist, which is already a pretty ambiguous concept, you know, what makes art skillful or higher quality than others, but whatever. I digress. Becoming skilled as an artist is not determined by your genetics. It is not determined by whether or not you got a lucky spawn. It is hard work. Period. It's hard work. And that's part of the thing that makes it beautiful, like I said. So, AI artists who use the excuse that they're just not good enough at art, they just weren't born with the skills, I find that to be a very weak and stupid argument. Because again, nobody is born with the skills to create some beautiful, expansive painting. That's not possible. We're all born drooling and sucking our thumbs. What makes somebody a good artist is years of hard work, and anybody can do that. And you know, this perfectly segues into my next point, which is some lobotomite take that I've seen multiple times, which is that AI makes art more accessible. I'm sure you have seen this before. If you are in any discussion related to AI art, I'm sure you have heard the argument and seen rebuttals for AI making art more accessible. As if picking up a pencil and a piece of paper was not accessible already. I've seen people talk about disabilities, physical disabilities, and this is where, of course, I am going to bring up famous artists from history that were disabled. I looked this one up so I get my facts right. Frida Kahlo, physically disabled, chronic pain. She's also an amazing artist. Okay, that's not it. Beethoven. Beethoven was deaf. by the end of his career. He dropped some fucking bangers while being deaf. Like, do you understand how insane and amazing that is? I will never understand people who make the argument that art is inaccessible. I firmly believe that no matter the form of somebody's disability, there is always a way to make actual art accessible to them that does not involve AI. Because art isn't black and white. I mean, that's the whole point. That's the whole thing that makes it beautiful. Art doesn't have to be picking up a pencil with my hand and making a drawing. It can be so much more than that. It can look so different. The point of art is creation, and it doesn't all have to look the same way. And I firmly believe that we can change the way in which somebody expresses themselves artistically, even if somebody is unable to do one thing, such as painting. Let's say you're a double amputee and you can't paint. There are other ways that you could explore. Someone in that situation could experiment with holding a paintbrush with their mouth or with their feet. It's been done before, and that struggle is part of what makes it so beautiful. Like, that is genuinely so admirable and so much cooler and so much more valuable than any slop that AI could spit out. And I'm really going down a rabbit hole here, but I truly don't think that like 99.99% of the AI glazers are actually suffering from these physical disabilities. I think it's just cope. I think they are desperately clawing, trying to find some excuse to justify the use of AI, because when it comes down to the brass tacks, there's not much. In fact, I would argue there's really no reason whatsoever to use AI. Another reason why AI should not be used to make art. It harms artists that are already underpaid, okay? In today's society, artists are not well off, generally speaking. Let me tell you, as a bit of an artist myself, somebody who wanted to do art full-time at one point, how foolish I was back then. I still do it occasionally, but the amount of money that I make for my art couldn't sustain life for 2 months. Like, it's really not enough to survive. In today's economy, it's just not feasible to be an artist and survive. I'm sure there are some artists out there who can do it, and that's amazing. But for a lot of us, the money's not there. So you have this industry that is already greatly underpaid, and now you are creating a new outlet, a new resource to be utilized by corporations, people who just want to go with the absolute cheapest option to cut costs at any cost. And instead of going to this artist that would have benefited from getting paid and creating something for that person, they're gonna go to the cheapest option, which is AI. So it's just further harming this industry of artists that were already not doing too well. As somebody, again, who is in the industry, I can tell you, we do not need less money going to artists. We actually need the opposite. I have the stance that artists are severely underpaid in today's day and age. It's truly an unfortunate state that we're in. Alright, let's review. The time that goes into becoming a good artist is part of what makes art valuable. Okay? What was the next thing? Gosh, my memory is so bad right now. Jesus Christ, my brain is like so fuzzy. I'm really struggling to express myself coherently. The next thing was the argument that it makes art more accessible. Art is so accessible already. I will never believe that argument. Give me an example where art is fully inaccessible to somebody, and then I'll start to hear you out. What was my last point? Oh, my last point was that artists are already severely underpaid, and the addition of AI art into this market is just further harming actual human beings who are trying to make a living. So, these are just some thoughts that I had bouncing around my noodle after having that lovely discussion on stream. I never mean to bring anyone down. I appreciate opposing opinions because it sparks a really good discussion. So again, no hard feelings. I love academic discussion. I love learning and I love expanding my brain and being faced with opinions that I may not agree with. Alright? Make sure to be kind to yourself and take care of yourself and follow my Twitch. Also, let me know if you have anything that you agree with, anything you disagree with, any commentary. Because truly, I love surrounding myself with all types of ideas, whether I agree with them or not. What I want to do on this channel, one of my main goals is to learn and grow my brain and become a more open-minded person. So, please, if you have an opinion, let me hear it. Okay? Okay. Bye, twin! Mwah!